Hi there, and welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. This is my Fleetwood Mac collection and some of my CDs. I thought I'd start out a little bit earlier than I intended to with a CD video because most have been put away in boxes for quite some time, and I'm not sure that I have my entire collection anymore. I think I'm missing a few. Before I had moved to the place where I'm currently at, I had two really nice CD bookshelf type things, and those were starting to bow before I moved here, and so I got rid of them. And now they've just been in boxes, and when I pulled them all out, it seems to me like I'm missing a few things here and there. So I tried to re-go over things in Discogs and such, and I'm just not entirely sure. So they're all out. They're currently in somewhat order. So again, I thought I'd just go over with you and make these videos while they're out and currently available to look at. I was going to save the few, maybe like four that I have that are pre-Buckingham Nicks to go with my albums when I eventually did a pre-Buckingham Nicks LP release. I only had a couple 45s that I showed you, and I just really haven't shown you too much of what I have, which isn't too much, but it's a nice little collection of pre-Buckingham Nicks Fleetwood Mac. But because the CDs are out, and again, they preface everything, I will start with those that I have. So the first thing I have is this CD by Tramp, which I believe is primarily Dave Kelly and Joanne Kelly's band, with Mick Fleetwood and Danny Kirwan as a part of it. And there's some great music on this. Again, it goes back to the kind of the blues Fleetwood Mac. And this album actually came out in 1990, but of course all the music is quite a bit older than that. And this CD actually happens to be from Italy, so a nice unique CD from Italy and a nice addition to my collection. After that, I have a very special thing to me. Anything related to Christine McVie, of course, is very important to me, and this would be a Chicken Shack CD that also came out in the 90s, but of course all the music, of course, was a great hit. I'd Rather Go Blind is on here. And this CD is out of Germany. Then standard CD, I have one actually on CD only. I have some box sets, but as singular CDs, I only have The Pious Bird of Good Omen, Fleetwood Mac cover that would be, interestingly enough, somehow a unspoken inspiration to Stevie for Belladonna. I think so. She never mentioned this, which I always thought was kind of funny. You'd think she would maybe kind of bring up that this was kind of in the back of her mind, having been a Fleetwood Mac thing. Or maybe Herbert Worthington knew that and said, let's recreate this with, and people would just pick up the obvious. But I always found that it was kind of interesting that Stevie never really directly said that this was possibly a Belladonna, possibly an homage to this or not. So, and then another interesting foreign, this one's made out of the UK, and this combines the Fleetwood Mac original album with like Albatross, Rambling Pony, etc., with the Christine Perfect CD, her album. And that is this CD here. So that is the pre-Buckingham Nicks stuff that I have on CD. Next up, we have the first time I got Buckingham Nicks on CD. Funny enough, the CD's missing, which is brilliant, which happens to happen to me all the time. I still listen to CDs. I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people are about streaming. As you can see, I'm about vinyl. But I still have a CD player in my car. My boyfriend has a CD player in his car. I still listen to a lot of CDs, so this is circulating somewhere, and I try to be really good about putting the CD back, but often I don't. Unfortunately, I wish I hadn't played this as much as I have, because I have been asked and told that it's one of the better quality burns, or whatever you want to call it, transfers that people have ever heard. I had taken this to a record store, to a person in California where I lived before, And that person asked me if they could borrow it to make copies. And I'm like, not going to happen. Because they're just going to turn around and resell them. And there's nothing for me in it. And again, there's already nothing for the band in it. So I was going to help spread that along. But it was kind of an honor that wherever I had purchased this, which I believe was at Logos in Santa Cruz some years ago, that somebody had, again, made such a really nice copy. So this is out and about somewhere in a CD case probably, because it is a really good recording of the record. I imagine they must transferred it. They could have transferred it possibly from cassette, possibly from 8-track. It just doesn't have a vinyl sound to it. So I'm not sure, but it's a great transfer, even though it's an illegitimate bootleg CD. On that note, I received this one sometime later, just purchased it just to see, and it just says Buckingham on it, just a plain gold CD. It, I do believe, and you can see it's short like the album, and has seen some wear, which is unfortunate, but this one I do believe is a transfer from vinyl. It is still another bootleg, however. It is not an official release. So that is another second copy I have of Buckingham Nicks. These are pretty prominent out right now. They are Buckingham Nicks, Never Going Back Again, which is inclusive of some of the, pretty much all of Buckingham Nicks album, plus some demos, if you will. There's a nice little, it's again like some of the vinyl that I've shown you. It's very nicely put together. It's not legit by any means. It's a bootleg. They try and make it look like it is legit, but it's not. But much like the vinyl, the CD has a nice little booklet. This is really cool to show the poster. I think I showed this. I think I had almost exactly the same thing on vinyl. Just a little write-up about it. But very nicely put together, and the sound of it's pretty good as well. But again, a boot, and still the songs that I believe straight are from the album are still not as good as my first copy of Buckingham Nicks. So there's that one. And then this one also came out pretty recently, supposedly a show, and in addition to some demos and other stuff. It's quite the compilation. And pretty much probably any secondhand record store that you go to is probably carrying this. Again, it's a bootleg, but it just seems like most places that I go to seem to have this a lot. Almost every record store I've been in the past year or two, I've seen this for sale there. So, I'll try and show you it's so funny when you open these CD jewel cases, things will slide right out, or they'll get stuck on those little lips, and you don't want to tear it out, you don't want to damage it, but it's so annoying. One of the perils of CD cases. So yeah, nice little copy of a mixture of stuff. So finally getting into Fleetwood Mac. The first Fleetwood Mac CD I have is a United States release, a standard release of the White Album. Nothing really fancy to see here. We all know it. Looks just like the album. We start getting to a little bit of a difference with this one that is out of Germany. It came with this little sticker on the plastic jewel case, and the CD is slightly different. And then information up here or down here says it's made in Germany. Booklet's all the same. This I recently acquired from a friend of mine. This is out of Japan. This is this is not one of the remastered issued Fleetwood Mac White albums, but it is a newer release out of Japan. So again, it's not a remaster, it's just a reprinting, if you will. And I left this one sealed because it has the OB strip and everything like that. So it's fun to have something like that. And then I do indeed have one of the re-releases from, I believe, 2004. Sorry. And this is one of the re-releases. Came out on CD of the White Album. Again, not much different other than it's just, you know, the insert like that, and then the CD looks different. And then of course we have a few more pictures on the inside because it's the reissue, and you want to make it fancy and like a little mini CD box set. The same for my Rumors. Again, this is all torn apart because this was the Rumors 2-disc set with the regular Rumors on one side and the bonus material on the other. It is taken apart because I play it. So I had it out of the jewel case so that I didn't have to keep tearing up the ruining the paperwork, getting it in and out of the sleeve. I need to put this back together and just put it away. Or make this my play copy and get another copy to keep because yeah, that's how I roll. I do also have this edition. This is the only edition, the only way that I have this CD is signed, which was the 3-disc set, or 2 discs, sorry. Nope, 3. This is the one that was the regular album, the live album, and then the demos, more from the recording session. And this one was issued in 2013. And I just happen to have this one signed. Somebody, I think, traded with me. Oh yeah, there we go. So it was nice to have it signed by Mick Fleetwood. This was a bootleg album, but it was a really nicely put together bootleg. I think I'm actually missing a few pieces from it. It was the Live 77 in Japan, much like the album that I had shown you. But this is, I've had this for quite some time with this artwork and such. Very nicely put together 2 CD set. Inside, however, there was a copy of the ticket from the show and an Obi strip, but it's not a legitimate release. So I believe that the ticket is a copy and the Obi strip is a made up to go with the album. There was nothing really that went with it, but it looked really nice. And normally I don't keep the CDs in a jewel case. I had broken them all up because I didn't have a lot of room on those shelves that I had. So I had broken up all the bootleg ones and put them in vinyl cases. But this one I kept together because it's such nice packaging. And you'll see that periodically throughout my collection. Some I keep together, others I just tear apart. Because they're no different than all the burned CD demos and live shows that I have. They're just fancy, bootleg release, but they're really no different. These I have again amongst my CD collection. Oddly enough, when you find these, a lot of these, there's a thousands of these compilations of 70s and 80s and Time Life and USA, this one, Rolling Stone Presents. And I always try and pick them up because normally they're really cheap. This was 95 cents at the used record store. And this one, not only is it a great mix CD just to have in the car, this one has Go Your Own Way. But as you'll see later, a lot of times they'll have a different mix, just randomly. Some of these will have a different mix or something. People are still coming across CDs or songs that are put on compilations and finding them and realizing these have a different intro, different exit, different runtime, even by a couple seconds or something. This becomes really prominent in 1986 with Talk to Me. There's not only all the video differences that I discussed with the 45s, but as you'll see later, there's a lot of different recordings on different CDs, and much of them are on compilations like this. So I try and pick this stuff up. And this one I kept with Rumors era because it's about the same time in a song off the Rumors album. So Winding Up Rumors is with yet another CD live show. This just says Live 77, Go Your Own Way. I will tell you, the packaging on this is kind of nice, kind of pretty artwork. The sound on this is god awful. This is one of the worst sounding CDs I've ever had in my life. I don't even know, and I paid money, like regular money for it. None of these want to cooperate today. And but when I played it in my car, I just was like, good. It was awful, terrible, just that inside. Yeah, this I've seen a couple times too, but the sound is not good at all. It's very loud and tinny, and yeah. But this one I should probably break down and just put in a vinyl case, like I told you, or just like a regular. Going on to Tusk, I have the regular Tusk album. This is an original, probably out of the 80s, where the CD was pressed on one CD. The specially priced one CD issue. When Tusk was first coming out on CD, when CDs were becoming, the main media for music, it was initially released on 2 CDs. It's kind of a thick set, like the live album that you'll see, but then they did start making one CD for all this album, and this is the only current copy of a USA release that I have that's original. I probably got this close to around the time it came out, so it says logos, so who knows. Then we have the reissue, much like the White Album that you'd seen, that came out in 2004, I believe. So again, not much different. I think the CD might be a little different. And this one is a two CD set. Yeah, CD looks different. Oh, missing the other one. Shocking. Probably in my car somewhere. And I believe that this one is missing because, yeah, this one has the bonus material of outtakes and such. There's so many things I have to find to put back together. It's terrible, and that's also kind of why I'm showing it, because again, I'm hoping, in going over it, I just thought, again, they're out. I'm gonna make a video to show you, and also for me to note down later what all I'm missing and try and put everything back together again, or repurchase or find things that I'm missing. So this was out of this was a Columbia House, I believe, and this is an original. Definitely the way it was meant to be. I don't think I've ever seen this album on one CD. It's just, it always needs 2 CDs. Even with all the room on media that we have, this one just really needs 2 CDs to be a set. So, but there are Tusk versions that are like this with the old jewel cases. And see how that one just fell out? But when I want it to come out, you gotta dig. Ugh. So yeah, so that's the live album. We're gonna get into past 1980, 81, and such like that. This is again one of those Time Life series, and this one, I believe, this one has Sarah on it, and so this one has the in-between version. It doesn't have a timer on here, and I don't think she's even mentioned in here. Some of these she's on the cover, or they talk about her on the inside. I don't think she's in this one. But, yeah, so there's the long cleaning lady versions, we always call it. And there's the one made for the album. And this is like an in-between time one. So if the one for the album is like 4 minutes and 50 seconds, this one might be 5 minutes. But it's not quite the long play version, but it's not the short version that's on the album either. And there is no mention of Stevie in this one here, or Fleetwood Mac, I should say. Usually on the inside, even if there's not a spotlight or piece on them, it will say something about the band, but I noticed on this one and another one that they're not even mentioned, other than the fact that they're on the CD. So I just keep this one with 1980 because this is also an oddball out. This one unfortunately has a worse for wear, but this is Weird Al Yankovic with his album, and it includes Stop Dragging My Car Around. which was spin-off on Stevie's Stop Dragging My Heart Around, Stevie and Tom Petty. This is really hard to find, and I'm not even sure that it was on vinyl. When I was pulling out my records to go with Belladonna and such like that, and Era, I swore that I had it on vinyl, but I do not. And I'm not even sure it's on vinyl. I met him and I want him to sign something, and I prefer, if I have something Fleetwood Mac related that can be signed by anybody, even if it's not a Fleetwood Mac person, that I have the vinyl. So when I met Weird Al, I was hoping that he could sign the album that I thought had Stop Dragging My Car Around, but in fact did not. So I'm grateful I have just even the CD, but of course I don't even know why I have it the way I do. I would like to find it with its sleeve and information and such, and or on vinyl, but I do have this copy, so there's something. Next we're going to go into Lindsay's Law and Order CD. This one is a standard USA release. Nothing really different about it. Only on some of these will I pull out the artwork. There's so many CDs to show you, and I'm not breaking them down like I did my 45s and like I'm doing on my vinyl, because like some I only have one copy of. But when I pull out this on LP, I will definitely be pulling out and showing you the inside. Everything that's on the inside of this looks just the same as what's on the vinyl. So, and then we have Heavy Metal, which has definitely been, I've definitely had this as long. This is one of the best soundtracks and best CDs ever. I think it is. Anyway, I love this CD and everything on it. It's just a solid listening from start to finish. So, but of course we have this for CD's Blue Lamp, which was mentioned. Seems like I mentioned that at one point. Not yet. I guess I haven't gotten to it yet. I might have brought it up during, cassettes. That's what I'm thinking about. So, yeah. For Belladonna, I have this first one, which is from West Germany. Again, the differences on the CDs are going to be on the CD itself. Nothing in the jackets or the little pamphlets, unless I pull them out and show you. So this one, of course, it differs because it's what they call a bullseye. There's a couple of them. This one is pink and green, and the other one I've seen is like a sea blue and green. And I wonder if it was one of those tricks, like, because I saw it on Discogs, and I wondered if it was kind of like that whole dress thing, if you guys remember. Like, what color is it? What color do you see here? But when I did a little bit more research, because I thought it was funny that the other one was blue and the same green, and I thought maybe in photography, maybe it's coming up differently, and they're both the same CD, but they're not. One is in blue and green, the other is in pink and green. But I was just wondering if maybe it was how it looked in the light or something like that, but they are indeed different. So this one is, they call it the target or bullseye, because usually there's the lines that go through it or something. And so this one is from West Germany. This one is from Japan. This one does not have any obi. This one has very little, there's nothing on the inside of this, anything. There might have been. I got it used at a record store, so could be that it just was without. Oddly enough, on no side does it have it in kanji, which I find weird. Usually it does. One side will be in Japanese and the other will be in English. And the CD is slightly different in appearance, but not by much. Just the white line maybe, and how the font is. But, and on this one it just says printed in Japan, Sanrio, I think that's how you say it. Sanyo. That's it. Otherwise there's no Japanese writing on this whatsoever. But that is a Japanese copy, so. And again, when you want to put them back in, like I'm trying to do in a hurry to keep this moving along, they just don't want to participate. This one is from, this is the United States one. This is the re-release, the remaster that came out in 2016. This one is sealed still. But this one was just the remaster of the album only. There's no bonus material. But this one was the remaster with the album and the bonus material and the live show that came out in 2016, obviously, as well. This one was nice with all those pictures inside. I need to get a copy of this one to tear this one up. These are really beautiful. I like the outline and everything here. So yeah, so it came out in two versions. One just regular remastered album, and then the soft packet, they call it, the cardboard with all the extras and stuff on it. Moving into Mirage, I don't have, for example, Mirage being one of my favorites, I do not have the most recent, not the what the heck do you call it? The real recent one with the Dolby soundtrack, whatever, the very expensive one. I don't have that in vinyl or CD. But when this was reissued recently, at the same time Walmart was doing like the color vinyl and such like that, my copies are who knows where they're at, because I listen to them. I listen to this album a lot. And all three of these copies I'm about to show you, unfortunately, have a lot of wear and tear because I just will pull whatever CD. This one is awful. Look at, you can't see that, but so messed up. Which is unfortunate because this is I would call it probably a rare release. This is from Australia. It shows it here. Made the CD a little bit different. This insert here is different. This part here is different. It's a bummer that I played it as much as I have because, it's a rare release. But when I'm heading out and I just go to my CDs, I would just pull Mirage and not give a crap which one it is. I've tried to be more careful, but still not always the case. This one is from Germany. And again, here's the bullseye look, as you'll see. This one is gray and red. And, yeah, so that's about the only outstanding difference. It, too, has seen better days, I'm sure. That's not too bad. This one has been spared. But this one is from... This one might be a reissue. Oh, yeah, 2016 remaster. So this one's still in pretty good shape. But I've listened to it a lot, for sure. So yeah, the 2016 remaster, as evidenced right here. The what do I call it? The oatmeal color CD. So that's it for Mirage. There are more, but I know I have a soft pack one that I think had all the demos and such, and then, of course the CDs and the box sets. But again, to me, those belong with the box sets. I would not pull them out and put them with these because they don't belong out of the box set. That's my weird way. I think we're going to get into Wild Heart, and I think I'm going to actually cut this way in half because there's a lot more coming. But these Wild Heart ones are pretty interesting, and I think, yeah, let's get through them. So with Wild Heart, this first one is printed in Holland. And this one was really one of those things I just happened to find. As you can see, the back is already very different. The side, not so bad, but there's a little variance there. The CD insert has a nice write-up about it. But what's really, really pretty is that CD with the girls on it like that. Looks really lovely. And then when you take out the CD, you have the back photo. Definitely one of my favorites. I just love the picture on there. And then after that, we have one from Argentina. This is the back, so it's a little different than the American one, which would standard look like this, even though this one's a remaster. I'll get to in a second, but that's how normally the American ones look. But this one had the picture at the bottom, song listing, and then a little excerpt about the album here. The spine looks different than the spine of this one, clearly. And then the CD looks different. And then this one, I believe, thereafter is just regular. Just everything else is the same. So it's mostly the CD and the back part that are different. And after that, we have the 2016. This one is sealed. $5 special at Walmart. So this is probably an extra copy. I'm confident I have one open. This is the, yeah, just the remaster of just the album itself. No extras. And then this would be the Digipack. That's the word I was looking for earlier. This would be the Digipack. They call the soft cardboard type, with the reissued, the remastered CD of just the album, and then the extra outtakes and demos and such. But what was really neat to me is some people might have seen these before. These were out of the Netherlands. And this is a little box set. And I'm going to show you the one. I think I have two copies because one I think has the... Yeah. So on the front there it says there's these bonus cards inside. And there's, I think, 5 or 6 of them to be had. So I've only ever seen the box set with Stevie and the cards that are on the inside. And the cards that are on the inside, before I show you the CD, are the famous sleeve collection. There's Billy Idol, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, great band, Mink DeVille, George Clinton, and Dr. Hook. And then on the back shows that like that. That's pretty cool on all of them. But what I'd like to find is one of these in its box and see if there's a Stevie Nicks card in there. Because it appears to me that, it's the famous covers. I don't know why hers wasn't included in the box. I think because you're buying that box. But if you bought one of these other boxes, would it have a Stevie Nicks card in it? And let me know if anybody has that or if anybody's obtained that. These came out in 2000, the year 2000. And so it was just a really neat find. And, I've had this forever, but I haven't seriously looked. I'm sure it wouldn't take much to look online and find them. I would probably buy Billy Idol. But it would be interesting to see if in the Billy Idol box like this, if the cards inside, if it had that sticker that there were cards inside, if inside it indeed had a Stevie Nicks card showing the sleeve with the stuff on the back. So that is that part. The CD, again, varies from the other ones that you'd seen. It's to kind of match the cover. Nothing on the back there. And I believe that on this one, kind of like one of the other buttons I had shown you. Again, we're going to be difficult. With the write-up, like I had shown you, but it's obviously not the same because it's not the CD and the back of it was different. But it has that same little write-up. So, and that one was from... So it looks similar. But that CD has the picture on it. But this is the insert that has the exact same write-up as what's in here. So I thought that was really neat. So then I've had these for so long. And And, just I have two copies. One has the cards and one didn't. I tracked down one, or I just came across one that had the cards, and I was really stoked. And that's going to be the other problem is, when you're trying to find the other one, you got to find a box that has the cards. But then out of nowhere, I found one that was just like these, but this is a box, a proper box, but this is just a little slipcase. No cards, but the same maker. The CD looks exactly the same. The insert is the same, but instead of in a box with the cards, comes in a little slipcase. So that was interesting. And I had never seen this. And when I came across this one, I'm like, oh, another one of those box sets, but it is in fact not. And also came out in 2000 and from the Netherlands, just like the other ones. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I think I'm going to wrap up Wild Heart with this little odd word out, even though it doesn't relate, but it does, well, it relates, obviously, for, anybody watching would obviously know. This is the Beauty and the Beast, or La Belle et la Bête. I think I'm saying that all fancy and proper like. Soundtrack. A really beautiful piece of music. The inspiration for Stevie to do the song Beauty and the Beast for the Wild Heart album. This is just a really great find, and it's just stunningly beautiful. Inside is a lot of about the movie, and in the back, I have a little mini collection about Beauty and the Beast as well, so I'll probably show this on another video when I show all that. But some really nice pictures from the film, some stills. So even though that this was issued in 1994, pardon me, I like to keep it with the Wild Heart because, again, it was part of the inspiration, and I know I can always find it. I know where it is, and so I just thought that was kind of a cool little piece, a little companion piece to keep with the Wild Heart. So that is it for now. That's going to be the CD first set. I really thought I'd be able to get through these two other files that I have. I was going to try and go through 1990, starting at the beginning through 1990, and so much for that. We're almost, we're over 35 minutes, so I'm going to start up the next video. So until next time, thank you so much for watching this one, and let me know if you have any of these other box sets, and if Stevie's got a postcard inside, and or if you have any other of the CDs, if you have different imports than I do. I'd really like to know. There's many of them. There's so many, certainly several issues of Mirage from other countries and stuff. Just currently what I have. So would love to hear from you. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.